What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel. And today's video is about Dana White's recent statement that there will no longer be double champs in the UFC. But let me clarify this a little bit, because this statement was essentially hearsay said from Diego Lopez that he was told that the UFC will no longer have double champs, but more as though they will discourage it going forward. Because Dana White was later asked point blank, did you say this? Is this real? Is this legit? Will there no longer be double champs in the UFC? And he didn't say definitively no, but what he said is they want to have champs that are active. So if you are going to pursue double champ status, you need to be actively defending both weight classes. But I think this effectively means that double champs, at least simultaneous double champs, will no longer exist. And here's why. I just don't think it's feasible to effectively and efficiently defend two weight classes. Even if you're the most active champ ever, like Israel Adesanya or somebody like that, it's still going to create stagnation in one of the divisions. It has to. Plus, you have the chance of getting an injury. Now, both divisions are potentially held up. I just think it's a mess. And so overall, for the benefit of the fans and the sport, they're no longer going to allow this. And I think this is actually tremendous for a number of reasons. For in particular, I'm going to go through all the reasons right now, step by step. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree, but I'm thrilled. I know when Conor did it back in the day and other folks tried to get this double champ status, it was legendary. It was iconic. It had never been done before. But I think now when we look back in retrospect, I don't think it adds really anything to the sport or the legacy of the fighter. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. And moreover, now we see that it can actually lead to, cues that are stacking up in a particular division for other fighters that are trying to get their shot at a title. So let's go through my points 1 through 4 in order of why I think this is a great thing. So number one, obviously it keeps the divisions moving. You have somebody holding onto their belt, going on, entering a training camp, challenging in a heavier weight class, and then depending on the outcome of that fight, now, are they going to have to then go back down to their original weight class? Let's say you're lightweight and welterweight, go down to lightweight, defend it, then move back up, and it's just jumping back and forth. That's going to take time. Plus, you could have an injury, as I mentioned before. That's going to create problems for the UFC, for the divisions, for the fighters, and for the fans. So this just keeps the divisions moving by no longer allowing this. I like this so much better. Okay, point number 2. One of the things that makes mixed martial arts and the UFC in particular so exciting, and the fights that are, to me, the most intriguing, are when there are stakes, big stakes. This is a key reason why cannot wait for Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler over a lot of the other fights that have been announced, because of the stakes at play here. This could be, if Michael Chandler does take a loss in this fight, this will be a career-defining moment, because this would probably kick him out of the top 10. And I don't know what would be next for him. I mean, he'll always be around for exciting and amazing fights, but there's a lot on the line for him. Likewise, for Paddy Pimblett, if he can win this fight, this will catapult him to a new level, depending how he wins it, top 10, top 5. And then we have this potential super megastar finally at the top of the game, at the top of the lightweight division, arguably the most competitive division in the UFC. Probably is. I think most people would agree with that, or bantamweight. But that is so exciting, and that's what makes that fight tremendous. So when you're the champ of a particular weight class, and then you move up while holding your old belt, there's not a real risk and reward in terms of, because you're not giving up anything. You're taking on that fight, and if you lose at the heavier weight class, you're still champ in the lower weight class. So from the perspective of the champ, it's amazing. It's a free shot. It's a free fight that if you lose, nothing happens. You're still champ, and you still get all the benefits and pros of being a champ. And if you win, double bonus. Right now, you're a double champ. And granted, that is amazing. But from the fans' perspective, it's to me, it's not as exciting. Other fighters have pointed this out, that of course you want to go up for double champ status, because it's a free shot. It's a free fight. You come back down. Even if you lose, you still have that singular champ in whatever division you started out in. So anyways, stakes, that's the key to this game, in my opinion, in terms of exciting matchups and exciting fights. So getting rid of this double champ status, I think, is actually better. You look at Ilia Topuria in contrast, who, whether he did it on his own or whether the UFC asked him to vacate, I think he did it on his own, because he knew he didn't want to make 145 anymore. But to me, that is so much more exciting that he has given that up. He said, hey, take it away. I'm no longer champ. I'm going to shoot for greatness. I'm going to put it all on the line. if he was simply moving up for one fight to challenge Islam, I would not be nearly as interested. In fact, I didn't really want to see that fight, but now that he's vacated and put it all on the line to go out and fight Islam, I like that better. Plus, look what else happened. Now we get Diego Lopez and Volkanovski in the mix to have a new title fight, a new deciding fight for the champ of 145. So all around, I think you can see just from that one example, this is so much better for the UFC. Okay, point number 3. Again, okay, this goes back to dovetails into that stakes conversation. But if you think about it, I think one of the things that people were so blown away by, but wow, you can have the belts simultaneously. While you're a champ here, you can move up, get that one. And that's so impressive. I think now, as time has gone on, I view it the other way. I view it as more impressive to actually vacate, put everything on the line like Ilya or Alex Pereira. Granted, he lost the belt, but then still moved up. But he moved up fully without any intention of going back. I think that's more impressive to me, to take that risk, to go out, to properly build your body up and then dominate that new weight class. It doesn't add that much excitement level to me if a UFC fighter is going to defend both simultaneously. So if we're talking about trying to achieve greatness in the sport, if you've been a champ of 2 weight classes, I don't really care if it's been simultaneously. I just think to go out and do that, to dominate 2 divisions or maybe even 3 divisions, as Alex Pereira might do, or I think Khamzat Chimaev might do, to do that, regardless of whether you're holding the belt simultaneously, that blows me away just as much, if not more so. Final point, why I think it's better to get rid of this simultaneous double champ, is it's going to be safer for fighters in terms of weight cuts. If you're going to have a guy go up, you're moving up. Think about what Max Holloway did and some of these other fighters that moved up correctly and properly. They actually put on muscle mass. They bulked up. Now you're going to have them go back and defend in their old weight class after putting on the mass appropriately, carefully. Now they have to shred all that muscle mass. They have to do probably a more intense weight cut, greater dehydration, which is one of the most dangerous parts about the sport. The part about the sport that I like the least. I hate the weight cuts. It just sucks. I hope they can find a way to get rid of them one day. But anyways, now you don't have fighters jumping back and forth. I think it's really the worst part is going from the higher to the lower, obviously. We get rid of all of that, and we have greater safety for the fighters, for the champs, and for the people that are aspiring for greatness to have multiple belts in multiple divisions. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. I'm really happy that the UFC made this decision, and I think they're doing it with that right mindset. Probably, I imagine, somewhat for the safety of the fighters, but of course, for the improvement overall of the sport as a product. And I love that as a fan. So I think they've done a great job here. And whether or not it's an explicit or implicit rule, I don't really care. I think it's going to be heavily discouraged. And I think there's going to be almost no situations where it's going to be justified. I just think it's too risky. It's almost impossible. So I imagine we're not going to see it. We'll see it very infrequently, but I'm going to venture on the side of we're never going to see it again. That's my 2 cents. That's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys equally as excited about this change in policy or not? Do you actually love the double champ status, holding the belt simultaneously like Conor once did? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining once again. And thank you for all the growth. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the likes, the engagement. We appreciate it so much. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Take it easy.